What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got an unboxing of the new Pro Apple workflow with the new monitor and laptop, and also talking about some of the new specs, the changes, the power that you can expect, and in general, some of the updates are ones that we've been waiting for quite a while, especially when it comes to the category of displays. So I figured I would do it in the same video because I think for a lot of professionals out there, these are the products that you're going to be eyeing if you're looking to transform your workflow and your desk setup all at once. So for starters, this is the MacBook Pro. And right here, I have the 14-inch model. And of course, it's available in a 16-inch model as well, and an option of the M5, the M5 Pro, and the M5 Max, which is the one I have right here with 128 gigabytes of unified memory. And beyond some of the typical spec bumps that you expect year after year, there are also some pretty significant changes in my opinion as you dig through the details and see the architecture of the latest chip. So I'm going to talk about that a bit more while we unbox this, but I also have a full review that is planned if you have any questions of the new MacBook and specifically on the performance compared to the previous generation. On the other hand, the Pro Display XDR is one that I've been a huge fan of. Since 2019, it was a dream monitor, but this is the long-awaited update. And for some, it might be a surprise, but it is a 27-inch Studio Display XDR that has a lot of the similar great characteristics as the Pro Display XDR, but with a faster refresh rate, Thunderbolt 5, and a few other features that we're also going to be highlighting. So let's start with the MacBook Pro before we open up the display, set it up, and have our new Apple setup up and running. So the spec I have right here is the highest end M5 Max with 128 gigabytes of unified memory, 4 terabytes of storage, and a beautiful silver and nano texture option. I've been between nano texture and glossy on my displays, but when it comes to my MacBook, I definitely prefer nano texture on the MacBook Pro, and 14-inch has been my preferred size as well. So this is essentially the perfect spec. So I'm just gonna go ahead and peel this off. And what I also found especially interesting is some of the variations in terms of the different options that you have, because previously I found it very difficult to recommend to people whether you should get the base model or upgrade to the Pro or the Max models. But I feel like Apple has made it a little bit more divided this year. You have the M5, which starts in at a price point of $1699, gives you 16 gigabytes of unified memory, but then you also have the M5 Pro that has a price increase of $200. And not only do you get a bit of a different architecture variance in terms of the chip and more power, but you also get double the base storage starting at 1 terabyte, which for a lot of people is plenty. By the time you go and upgrade the unified memory from a lower model, you almost have to consider whether or not just making the jump and getting a more powerful processor and more storage makes sense to you. In terms of the power, you have the MagSafe USB Type-C cable on one side, and then you also have the power adapter, which in this case is the 96 watt model. Now let's just go ahead and open it up for the first time. And I'm really excited to have this connected to my Studio Display XDR. I'm gonna be doing a full review where I talk more about the different changes to the processors and the variances, but at a glance, the M5 Pro gives you a 2 times faster CPU, 2 times faster SSD, and the previous was made out of a 12-core CPU and 16-core GPU with options up to a 14-core CPU and a 20-core GPU, but now it features a 15-core CPU and 16-core GPU, and the options to spec up to an 18-core CPU and 20-core GPU. The previous generation Max processor has a starting CPU and GPU setup of 14-core CPU and 32-core GPU with options up to 16-core CPU and 40-core GPU, but now you have 18-core CPU and 32-core GPU, and on the highest end model, an 18-core CPU paired with a 40-core GPU. The actual CPU and GPU divide though, in my opinion, is not what is most important here. It is actually the way the cores are set up within themselves. It features a multi-die chip design using an all-new Fusion architecture, as opposed to the efficiency core and performance core setup. So beyond objective performance increases when it comes to video editing, processing, of course in the world of AI, LLMs, and things that you would run natively, especially when it comes to CPU and GPU intensive tasks, you should see a big improvement there, especially when it comes to rendering times and generation times. I know that is always a lot to consume for people who are thinking of getting a new MacBook, but I think the divide between the M5 and the M5 Pro and Max is clearer than ever before. You have a bit of a gap when it comes to the price now that you have to decide whether or not it is really worth the jump. But if you do decide you need the additional power, you want the new architecture, then making that jump does result in more storage capabilities and power capabilities. And if you really want the best of the best, then the M5 Max is there for you to spec up to 128 gigs of unified memory, which just a couple years ago, we were talking about a max option of the Mac Studio desktop having 128 gigs, and now you have these capabilities on a portable laptop that still has incredible battery life and a beautiful display. So now let's unbox the Studio Display XDR, and I'm probably the biggest fan of this monitor because previously I had been using the Pro Display XDR in a triple monitor setup over the years that I'd started from 1 and built into 3, and it has been an instrumental part of my workflow. On the spec side of things, it is a mini LED screen with 2304 local dimming zones, and it also features 1000 nits of SDR brightness and 2000 nits of peak HDR brightness, which is above the 1600 on the Pro Display XDR. It's also got 120 Hz refresh rate and adaptive sync, which is probably its most requested feature. A 12 megapixel center stage camera, improved 6-speaker system, and a studio quality mic array. You've also got 2 Thunderbolt 5 ports now and the ability to daisy chain. So as someone who comes from the Pro Display XDR, even though I am not really the demographic to upgrade being a 32-inch screen, and I will say I'm a bit sad that there isn't a 32-inch model, this is the one that has all of the latest specs, an A19 Pro processor running all of the stuff in here, including the camera that is built in, the improved microphone. Just to remind you, the price is $3,299, and you have the option of a nano texture display. But one thing is that it also includes the stand, and it is a height adjustable stand. So that is nice that it doesn't cost any extra money. So let's just go ahead and try to unbox this. So I'm just going to figure out how to slide this out of the box here. So now we've got this out of the box, and I'm seeing it for the first time as well, actually. So it looks like it has another layer to it. And what is interesting is that the stand, as I mentioned, is included, and by default is the height adjustable one, which was always my stand of choice for the Studio Display as well. But it is permanently attached. So it comes with it, it's attached. You don't have the option to switch it out or anything. One thing you'll also notice is that there are no holes on the back. So in a lot of ways, it looks pretty much like the existing Studio Display. Flat, smooth surface. There isn't that cheese grater design on the back, which I actually kind of liked. Personally, I thought the design is quite nice, but let's just take off the cover here for the first time. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and set this up with the new MacBook Pro. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It has been a really fun experience refreshing my desk setup, not only with the latest and greatest MacBook Pro, but a display that doesn't usually get an update, but when it does, it's always an exciting time, and I can see this being an option that is popular for creators out there who want the very best in their screens with a fast refresh rate. As always, if you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.